Goodbye, bottle.
Another. See the problem then? Good. Your education in Windows is complete. Glad we had this talk.
Okay, can you educate me in Windows 95?
Yeah.
Patricia, my darling, that's why I love you. Because you get lost. Wait,
What?
oh god, that is actually what he says. Oh my god.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Case 4, The Greatest Attorney. We have gotten a bouquet, which is really just a rose, and it was not where it should have been, and Rolly seems to have not said anything about this.
Summary, Rolly looking pretty sus right now.
Yes,
Look, he uses hard-earned cash of people who drop money to buy rose. He was trying to be
believe,
nice.
sir, that the ones that are sus right now, sir, is you, sir.
I mean, I'm not technically here. I'm a figment of your imagination.
you claim, Constable Beat, there was nothing to report in the 15 or so minutes you were guarding the scene. But that cannot be. What do you mean to say? In your testimony just now, Mrs. Beat, you explained to the court that when you arrived back at the scene of the crime with the policeman assigned to that beat, the bouquet you had dropped at the victim's side was no longer anywhere nearby.
Objection!
Yes, on the opposite side of Briar Road to where the victim was attacked.
Why that warrants an objection?
Eh,
Considering the size of that meager bouquet, if you can even call it that. If a single sorry bloom can be so described. You know what? I'm no longer adding commentary to him, because every time I do, he's just saying the same thing.
I also love how I didn't realize that's how meager is spelled.
No doubt it was blown in the wind across the street, back into the gutter where it belongs.
Meager? But if that were the case, why did Constable Beat not testify to the fact?
I actually think that's the British way of spelling meager, as opposed to the U.S.
Yeah,
version.
I'm assuming
Yeah.
that's what it is, but I just never realized it had a different spelling and it spelled like that.
Have you seen how color is spelled? Would you like to know that Sonic Colors
Well,
is a different
both-
name technically in the UK?
Well, I mean, I get the whole adding U's to everything. That one is I know commonly, but
Okay.
meager is,
Well,
is kind of
well-
wild.
Well, E and R usually get flipped around. Theater does the same thing.
Yeah, that's true.
The same thing
Oh.
is for S and S, like synthesizer or something.
Wait, seriously?
No one could approach the scene, and nothing was removed from it. Or no one else approached the scene. That's what Constable Beat swore on the Scotland Yard honor.
But the bouquet belonged to me. It has nothing to do with the case. That's why Rolly didn't mention it, I'm sure. No, because sadly, it's not only your bouquet we're talking about here. More than one thing in this case is mysteriously the wrong way around.
What are you talking about?
English is hard, sir. Think about it. Besides Mrs. Beast's bouquet, there's Mr. Garrett's book. Mr. Garrett's copy of The Lion's Pride, which was thrown out of the window by his wife, would have struck the pane of the casement window and landed here on the west side of the street. And yet, it was actually found here on the opposite side of the road in the victim's hand. Meanwhile, according to the testimony we've heard, Mrs. Beast's bouquet should have been dropped here at the scene of the crime on the east side of the street. But in fact, it was actually found here on the opposite side of the road in front of Mr. and Mrs. Garrett's house. There's no logical explanation for those things. Unless somebody deliberately moved them. Rubble, 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 rubble. What are you trying to say? The way you're talking, it sounds like you think my Rolly's done something wrong.
Don't listen to a word that Scotland lawyer says. Literally all about books and bouquets. Wish we cared. It's nitpicking, and that's what it is.
Oh, good. Mrs. Garrett has come around. Good morning. I forgot she passed out.
I'm sorry, you got something to say? You can testify to it.
I know, right? You might call it nitpicking, Mrs. Garrett. But deliberately meddling with the scene of a crime is a criminal offense. It's called,
Criminal offense. Oh.
Tampering, Mr. Naruhodo.
Whoa, Grandpa's angry.
But the person responsible for this tampering cannot admit to it for a very subtle but compelling reason.
Objection!
Tampering? You've barely heard the term before. Tell us, my learned friend. Who could possibly have had cause to carry out such an elaborate deception?
Yes, there is someone who tampered with the scene of the crime that evening. All the evidence and all the testimony points to that one particular person. Sir, you sus.
Counsel, I must demand that you substantiate this conjecture. Who are you saying is responsible for tampering with the scene of the crime?
Sean.
John Wilson. Wait, where did he... Oh, here. Sir.
Take that!
Obviously, there's only one person it could have been. Constable Rolly Beat. It was you.
What? A policeman? A member of Scotland Yard?
Oh my... What nonsense! Why would my Rolly do something like that? There's no stranger than my husband. No Bobby works more tirelessly for the people of London. Mrs. Beat, you said in your testimony that your husband asked you to go to a nearby police box to fetch the officer on duty. The 15 minutes that you were absent from the scene is the only opportunity anyone had to tamper with it. You're making it up. It's all nonsense. It's all lies. What about that Japanese man with the whiskers? I bet it was him. He did it. If that were true, Constable B would have seen him do it. Oh.
You may for pointing it out, but when you dropped your bouquet, Mrs. Beat, it was after the defendant had fled the scene.
Well.
Objection!
First you make accusations about the landlord and his wife, and now you incriminate the policeman as well. But your accusations lack one very important thing. You claim the crime scene was tampered with. But there's only one reason anyone would commit such a reckless crime: to hide something.
That's right. He's right. But my husband and I just happened to be there. That's all. So why would he have anything to hide? It doesn't make sense.
I mean, it kind of
wanna
does.
do the
We
work.
already know the motive.
Yeah.
You've offered no motive for this alleged tampering. And until you do, your accusations are nothing but empty threats.
Well, all right. Constable Beat had a very good reason for wanting to tamper with the scene of the crime. That's the key to this entire affair. Literally and figuratively?
Okay, sorry. You said literally and figuratively. I was just like, wait, what's the literal part of this?
They're married? The Beats?
Oh, okay.
You know, affair?
Was Olive Green his mistress? Like, what are you getting?
No, the Beats! I mean the two of
Was
them!
Olive Green Mr. Garrett's mistress?
No, I was talking about that the
Okay,
reason
okay,
why they
okay.
did. Oh my god.
Miss Naruhodo, have you managed to solve this mystery?
Please.
Counsel, you have made a very serious accusation against the London police officer. If you are mistaken, I'm sure I need not point out that your reputation as a lawyer will be irrevocably damaged.
Joke's on you.
I'm already
Japanese.
I'm also already damaged.
Joke's on you. I'm Japanese. Y'all already hate me.
With that warning in mind, you will now explain to the court the motive for this alleged tampering.
Yes, my lord. Constable Beat's motive for tampering with the crime scene was to hide
Whew. Book makes
Okay,
the most sense to me.
I'm not sure which one leads to the correct outcome. Okay, so we know that he basically moved the body so he wouldn't have to deal with having to investigate this, so he could keep having his wedding anniversary, right?
Yep.
Okay, we all in agreement about this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, but I would still wager on the book because the book does come from the house, which ties it more directly to what his beat is. So by moving the book, he's like, it's not part of my
And
job.
also, no, but we did go out of the way to mention that the pavement in front of Garadep's house is also part of his beat. So
Yeah.
if it had happened there, it wouldn't have mattered if the book from Mr. Garadep's house was involved or not. He would have had to stay and deal with that anyway.
Okay, I get what you're saying. So yeah, where the victim fell because the victim. Okay, sure.
Okie dokie.
We'll go with that.
Where the victim fell to the ground. That is what this Bobby had to cover up at all cost.
What? What is that animation?
Where the victim
surprised.
fell?
It's like, oh, ew, a roach.
Oh, I mean, he is an aristocrat. He has to be all dramatic. Where the victim fell? You mean where she was attacked? What are you talking about? We told you at the very start, didn't we? On the pavement of Briar Road. We saw it happen, remember? It was right here, as if anyone didn't already know. That's certainly what everybody has been led to believe. But in fact, that isn't where the victim was stabbed at all. Huh? What? Rubble, 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 rubble.
Beginning to wonder where this tumultuous trial will end, Council.
We all are!
Never.
If that's your assertion, and the court is dying to know, my Nipponese friend. Where are you proposing that the crime actually took place that evening?
Right in front of the
spot we
lodging.
already marked, yeah.
Take that!
Apparently clicking doesn't work.
But that...
On the opposite side of the road?
I don't understand. On the evening in question, Mr. Garrida's book fell directly down from the open window above, and your bouquet, Mrs. Beat, never moved at all. What did move was the scene of the crime itself.
Good gracious.
Rubble, rubble, rubble?
In this case again?
Perhaps you haven't been listening to the ample testimony the court has heard. But these witnesses both saw the moment the attack took place.
That's right. I saw it with my own eyes. It was 5 o'clock in the evening and already dark. There was the typical London fog on the ground. When you saw the incident unfold and ran to the victim's aid, that was actually on the west side of Briar Road. Smug Naruhodo. I love it. No, that's not true. It can't have been.
I can't help but notice that Rolly is completely still.
Yeah. Constable Beat then arranged for you to be absent for a while by sending you for help. And during the 15 minutes you were away, he transplanted the crime scene. He moved all the things shown in this print, the victim, herself, the 4 books. He moved everything, in fact, to the pavement on the east side of Briar Road.
Extraordinary.
But the constable overlooked one thing. What did he overlook?
The bouquet, I presume.
Exactly.
Prosecution court. The prosecution told the court just a few minutes ago about the discovery of the rose bouquet. Roland Zeke says, "It wasn't noticed until the morning, as it lay where the street lamps cast no light."
Good acting, Susato?
That was
you.
actually very lovely, madam.
Thank you. I've tried my best.
Yes, it couldn't be seen in the dark, obviously.
Which is why it was only the bouquet that was found in its original position, on the pavement on the west side of Briar Road. And that is the defense's theory about what really happened that evening. How do you respond? Constable Rolly Beat.
Well, I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to nod off again, but I haven't slept properly in a month. Did I miss anything important?
Oh my god, Rolly.
Oh, Rolly. It isn't true, is it? What that lawyer said is all lies, isn't it? I know it is because you're the most upstanding, righteous man I know.
I had a dream. A terrible dream. All the things I did that night. Everything come out. Everything exposed.
Sir.
Only this. Wake up, man. Come on. It wasn't a dream at all.
Good golly!
Huh.
Order! What on earth is the meaning of all this?
Oh, Rolly, why? Why would you do something like this?
Why do you still look so infatuated? Yeah.
Moving a corpse is a criminal offense, isn't it?
She's still alive? Wishing the victim dead should be one too. I was gonna say, like, she's still alive. Hello?
Yo, she's not dead. This is not a murder case. Stop acting like she's
Why is
dead.
Van Zeke's here? It's not even a murder case.
Constable, explain yourself. Why would you do this? As a respected member of Scotland Yard, your duty is to protect the good people of London Town.
I can't say, sir.
What?
I really am ever so sorry about all this. For damaging the Yard's reputation, for everything. If he's gonna, like, take a cyanide tablet right now or something, I swear to God, don't do it.
I have a possible explanation for why, on that particular evening, Constable Beat felt compelled to move the scene of the crime. I can think of one reason.
What? How could you possibly know?
Because his wife told us, like, a bunch of times already.
Ah, I'm back with the racism. Alright. You, a foreigner, presuming to understand the mind of a Scotland Yard policeman.
Sir, I hate to break it to you, but love is universal.
And yet, Lord Van Zeeks, it is this foreigner who has uncovered the startling truth of the matter thus far. I believe it would be beneficial to the court to hear this extraordinary young lawyer's theory. Counsel for the defense, if you please.
I like how...
Yes, my lord. What, KB?
I let the judge, like, 10 minutes ago was like, you're gonna, like, lose your job and you're gonna have to go back to Japan. And now he's like, wow, this guy's amazing. I love this guy.
Now then, I think you had better show us some evidence.
At once, my lord. England, Japan. It makes no difference where you come from. Human emotions are the same. Thank you. Exactly what I was going for. And I think I have a fairly good idea of the feelings behind this man's actions. Am I showing the flower then?
What gives away the motive for Constable Beat's unthinkable actions?
Is it a flower? Yeah?
Would it...
No?
Flower or his card? Because if you show the card and, like, it's not on his... wasn't necessarily on his beat anymore, he wouldn't have to report it. But I guess, yeah, the flower makes more sense if we're going the emotional route.
You know, I mean, I have 5 penalty options. I guess I could try the Warren card.
I mean, try the flop. Okay.
Oh, well, the music stopped. There we go. I guess I dodged a bullet because I was thinking of the flower. I realize that I am a foreigner in this land, and I've only just arrived from Japan, which is why all this information about London's so-called bobbies is completely new to me.
Also, cross-sublimation, we haven't used this piece of evidence yet.
True. I've learned that through, though honorable, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world, for example.
Keeping the peace, looking after the citizens on this beat in all kinds of ways. There's no doubt that the young Bobby is charged with a great deal to do each day, certainly.
But for Constable Beat, the day in question was special.
Special? How?
On account of this bouquet, my lord.
Maybe both items works.
Huh. Yeah, maybe. Because there are sometimes in Ace Attorney games they give you multiple things you can pick. Maybe the flower wasn't the wrong option either.
Oh, yes.
We'll never know now.
It was our very first wedding anniversary.
Actually, I could just go back to my old videos to see if I actually picked the flower. Constable Beat had worked so hard to be able to afford this simple gift for his wife, and was so looking forward to taking her out for a celebratory meal.
When he and Mrs. Beat stumbled upon a crime along Briar Road. When he saw that shadowy figure wait, am I talking, or who's talking? Am I talking?
Me, I think? I don't know.
Do you want me to keep going since the last person that was talking was
By all
Van
means,
Seeks?
roleplay. I don't know who's talking, so by all means, if it's Naruhodo, by all means, roleplay him.
I mean, I was just gonna do Van Seeks.
Go for
He was
it.
the last
No,
person
just go
talking.
for it.
When he saw that shadowy figure through the fog collapse on the pavement ahead of them, what must have gone through the man's mind?
Yeah, this sounds like Naruhodo's dialogue.
Yeah,
The way it's written.
yeah, that's true. But sir, just on that one particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Mrs. Beat puts up with a lot being married to a bobby like me. I wanted to show my dear wife how much I care. Yeah, I think it was you. It was not Van Seeks.
It's fine. This is the warrant card that Constable Beat offered to lend to me earlier. Inside, among the rules for patrolling policemen, it says, when a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Aha! Oops, sorry. Sorry. I'm thinking of the judge again. Constable
Are
Beat.
you sure you don't just want to voice everyone?
No, I don't want to go through that again. Is that not the reason why you moved the whole scene of the crime that day?
Yes.
That judge, for a temporary moment, was like, I need to take a coffee break. Hey, my other judge brother, come in here and just say this one line and leave.
He needed his fish and chips for a second.
Everything you said. It's all right. So that's it. It was all to do with the boundary of your beat.
Oh,
Exactly. To summarize, the incident actually occurred on Constable Beat's beat.
Good gracious. Constable, do you realize the gravity of what you have done?
It was the first time since I became a copper that I'd ever cursed God. Stay close to me, Pat. The criminal could still be lurking somewhere. As we ran over to the scene, I had every intention of doing my duty as a police officer. We've got to report this to the station as quickly as possible. But then it dawned on me. I realized where we were, where the victim was lying, and what that meant for me. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Why here? Why did this have to happen here? And why tonight of all nights? Why?
Yeah, that kind of
no one-
sucks.
Yeah, no one died, and it was just kind of it wasn't like there was no intent to like actually hurt anyone, so I kind of feel bad for him in all honesty.
The copper's job to guard the scene of the crime, so I told Pat she'd have to go to the nearest police box and fetch whoever was on duty there. It was then when I opened my mouth to speak. It just came out. Couldn't believe the words that were coming out of my own mouth. This is the next beat to mine, Pat. So you'll have to go to the police box that covers it. Turn right along Meerschaum Street and then... Rubble, rubble?
I do feel bad for him, though. That just sucks. Oh.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Constable.
I just wanted... just that one night. To take my Patricia out for dinner.
Oh, Rolly.
Just that one night. You knew that if the incident was on your beat, your evening of celebration would be ruined. And so you decided to move the entire crime scene outside your jurisdiction. Just across the street, to the east pavement of Briar Road, which falls under the neighboring beat's care. You see, I thought... Well, I was sure the victim was dead, you see.
Beg your pardon?
Oh, of course he did. Otherwise, my Rolly would never have left the poor woman on the freezing cold pavement.
What, you didn't check a pulse or, like, see her body move when she was breathing? All right.
In the cold?
I see your meaning now.
Wouldn't it have been an even bigger offense if she had been dead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my internet is, do I sound like a robot right now?
No,
No.
not yet.
Okay, cool. But God got me back for my sins, didn't he? That's why I missed the rose I bought for Pat.
Oh no, Rolly, that was all my fault.
Don't you apologize for that?
I should never have dropped it in such a dark place. I'm so sorry, Rolly.
What, you
You
wanted
are
to conspire?
apologizing! You are apologizing for inconveniencing his tempering.
And can you tell us, Constable, how many books did you move from the one side of the road to the other in total?
4 it was. Yes, sir. Definitely 4.
3 of them dropped by Mr. Natsume, and the 4th being the one that fell from the window upstairs in the garret of household, of course.
But what made you place that book in the victim's hand? When all the others were scattered haphazardly around, I mean.
Oh, well, sir. That's because that's how I found it. How you found it? What do you mean? When we first ran over to the scene, the victim was already holding the book. So, when I moved everything, I made sure it was still in her hand.
You're sure it was this book, The Lion's Pride, that the victim was holding?
Oh yes, sir. No doubt about it, sir.
Huh. Interesting.
The 4th book entitled The Lion's Pride that was in the victim's hand when Mrs. B first ran over to see what happened.
Thank you, Mr. Majima.
No problem.
I thought it was an open and shut case at the time, you see. There were only the 2 people at the scene, and Pat and me both saw it happen. However, which way you looked at it, it had to be the fellow who ran off who'd done it. I thought. couldn't see the harm, really. I didn't think moving it all over the road would make a jot of difference. I suppose this is for me now. I've had it. Oh, this is it for me. I suppose this is it for me now. My lord.
Yes, Lord Van Zix.
I believe that concludes the cross-examination of the witnesses. Constable, you may withdraw. Yes, sir!
Mr. Prosecutor, sir? What will become of my Rolly? What will happen to him?
For now, you are free to go home. The police will contact you in due course.
Please, don't punish my husband. This was all my fault. It's because I'm always moaning at him for coming home late.
Leave it now, Pat. Let's go home. I'm tired.
All right then, my love.
One last thing, Constable. Sir? Let this be a lesson to you. In a criminal investigation, every detail matters, however insignificant it may seem to you.
Sir, sometimes I think you need to take your own advice for certain things when we go through the trial, but you know, that's just me. Good advice. Maybe take your own sometimes.
I feel like he's learning this advice as he goes himself.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, maybe I'm being too open-minded in this whole case. I mean, close-minded.
Too close-minded, I was gonna say.
Yes, sir. Carve that lesson in your mind. And never again make the mistake of tampering with the scene of a crime. Never again, sir? You mean to say... Leave. Now. This trial is not yet over. Sir!
And that day, Baroque's heart grew 10 inches or something.
Leave
Millimeters.
now, Baka.
Well, what a startling revelation, I must say. Whoever thought of a third party transplanting the entire scene of a crime like that?
Is that what happened in, like, the third case in Ace Attorney?
Yes.
I never played the game, so I can't see into the future.
Oh, no, that's fair. I'm just sitting here like, I've only played one Ace Attorney game. And it's the one where they moved the whole crime scene. Indeed, my lord. Nevertheless, there are some immutable facts here. Principally, that the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsume, is the only person who could possibly have committed this crime.
Oh,
Wait,
we're
what?
back on this again. All right. Hold up. No, I disagree. Now that we know the true scene of the incident, there is someone else. Another person who could be responsible for the knife in the victim's back.
Forgive me for being presumptuous, but I believe the prosecution is probably well aware of that possibility already.
Lord Van Zix, is this true?
Very well.
Gonna twist your arm.
Name the person if you will, and if further investigation is warranted. Prosecution has no objection to the trial continuing.
This other person who could have perpetrated the crime.
John Wilson, which we'll present in the next video.
He's not even
Lord
on the
Vortex.
list.
It was Dracula the whole time, man.
We'll see you all next time.
John Wilson wasn't even on the list. Herlock Sholmes was on the list.
He's there in spirit.